Hi everyone, how's it going? Nick the Gardener. Today I think I've got to harvest my single seed potato, all of them, all the rest of them, all 17 plants, just because I came up the other day and there's some black spots appeared on the leaves and they've started to develop holes in them and stuff. And yeah, I just think really they've got blight, and it's because we've had so much rain. I'll just spin you around and I'll show you what the allotment's looking like. Well, part of it anyway. This is the worst bit, worst affected part. You see all this water here, and it's not far from my plot. This is not as bad as what it was apparently. It was go through the puddle. Yeah, it was right up to here on John's plot just here, and yeah, it's looking quite wet. We've had a lot of rain, So I was quite fortunate really that it didn't make it to my allotment, because the week before I'd put a load of wood chips down and leaves on the pathways. Well, we had a delivery of what they said was wood chip, but it was mostly, well, I'll say 50-50 leaves and wood chips and stuff. That's okay, it's all organic matter, protect the soil over winter, so that's all alright. That didn't all flow away, wash away. We've also had some cold nights. As you can see here, the nasturtiums, they've been affected by the frosts. But fortunately, the potatoes, they didn't get affected by the frost. But I'll just show you this broccoli, the side shoots on this broccoli. It's producing some decent sized heads now, which is good. I think I've got some more in this brassica cage just here. Yeah, that's a fairly decent one there as well, look. So broccoli for dinner by the looks of it. The cabbage in here, the Savoy, that's doing all right actually. That's the best one I've ever grown by the looks of it. Got a bit of the green manure started to germinate through the beds here. There's a bit of Phycelia in here in the potato bed, but there's also, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there's lots of little mole hills everywhere and stuff, load of little tunnels, what I can see. So Noel the mole has definitely been in there. So I've come up today, like I say, to harvest single seed potatoes. I've also got a load of leaves and everything for the compost bin. Got some mainly leaves in there, got a few grass clippings and leaves mixed up in that bottom one. I did turn this compost pile on Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, and it's gone up into the red now, which is good. And I lifted off the lid because I thought I was going to add this to it, and there's 4 or 5 little voles in there all running around. So I'll just give it a little bit more water because it looks a bit dry on top. And I'm actually going to put these leaves and grass clippings into this compost bin here, which is all the waste from the neighbour's plot, which I said he could dump in here. And I've just been putting sievings of my compost and a bit of coffee grounds in there. So yeah, I'll hopefully get that pile all turned soon as well. Once the other pile has dropped, I can fit it in there. But these are the 15 cuttings what I took, and from a distance they still look alright. You start to get up close, and there's some black spots on the leaves, which are starting to turn into holes and that. But it doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit more there, look. But they're starting to go a little bit yellow at the back. Yeah, I mean, these ones don't look too bad. I'll show you the ones I was planning to harvest today, but I think I might have to harvest these as well. I mean, you can see quite a few of the leaves of, well, I think it's blight. So this one on here, look, this one you can tell definitely is started to get blight. Well, I think it is anyway. Like I say, if anyone knows different, I mean, there's Septoria, but I don't think it's that. I mean, I was hoping it might be just damage from the cold weather and stuff, but we've had so much rain, I was worried that we might get blight. And so anyway, it's near the end of the competition. Got 1 month to go, but I'm definitely going to harvest these today. And yeah, I think if these have got blight, then I need to chop the tops off them really to stop it travelling down into the tubers, or I might just harvest them. We'll see because I don't really want to harvest them yet. I'm rabbiting on anyway. I better get on with the video because it's going to take for bloody ever. There's an airplane going across as well. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll set you up and I'll chop these haulms off and start harvesting these. There's 2 in here. I'll say 2, there's 2 bits of potato, which were the original bits chopped in half, and then there's several shoots coming off them. Perhaps put a little picture in here when I was potting them on, of what they look like. And yeah, and I think I planted these in here on the 2nd of June. So I've had like almost 4 months in here, so that should be plenty of time. Today I'm going to be potting on the 2 single seed potato pieces, what I've got left of the plants. Just going to pot them on because I haven't got a cauldron ready with more compost or anything yet. But we'll have a look at, who's this one? This is Ken 1. There's 2 big sprouts on there. So I've got to be really careful when I do this, I don't snap them. Give it a little bit of a squeeze to loosen it off. Ooh, that went in all right. Anyway, let's get cracking on, let's get ready. Right, okay, let's get going. I need to remove these stakes first and these bungees and that. I think the easiest thing to do is just cut them, isn't it? And remove these little straps. So yeah, the bungees work wonders really, because they're quite thick. So when the wind blows, they don't snap the haulms as much, you know, as much as string would. But yeah, they did their job really. I'm making a bit of a bodge of this, aren't I? Getting them all tangled up. It doesn't matter because they're all coming off. Right, that's the poles. We'll get them out of the way for a minute. Yeah, so hopefully, if I come down here a bit, you might be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm just basically going to snip these off and we'll see what they've produced. Yeah, so these were still going. This one's over this side, had died off a long time ago, unfortunately. But I'm hoping there's a good harvest in there. Let's get rid of them haulms in there for a minute. So I have had to top these up with some extra compost and that, just to earth them up. Mr. Snail, you can go away over there for a minute. Okay. So what I'll probably do, rather than having it on face tracking, I'll probably just lock you down here so that you don't miss any action and get seasick moving around a bit. See, I don't know if I can actually zoom it in a bit. Ooh. Here we go, that'll do, won't it? Right, so what I'm going to do, I'll probably start chucking the compost into that other container, other cauldron. Now, I hope there's potatoes in here. I'm sure I've seen some. You can see that there's some sulphur which hasn't broken down, or that might be the superphosphate I was giving it. But, not come across anything yet, and hopefully the potatoes on this side haven't rotted away or anything. Oh, I've got one there, look. Let's scrape off the top layer until we get to the spuds. There's a raspberry there. Yeah, there's quite a lot of fertiliser in there. I think that might have been the yellow sulphur what I put in last time, and obviously hasn't had a chance to be eaten by any of the microorganisms yet. I'm a bit worried about this side, there doesn't seem to be much down there. Oh, hang on, yeah, there it is, that's right. Right, we've got a few here anyway. Let's start taking a few out, shall we? This one looks like a bit of a beast. Cool. Ooh, you can't see my face, can you? But look at the size of that. Now that's got to be one of my best potatoes I've ever grown, I think. It weighs quite a bit as well. Let's pop that in there. So that was a beauty. Ooh, that's a pretty good one as well. Not quite as big as this first one, but they're pretty big. I'm happy with that. So obviously we've no idea what variety of a potato is. It's obviously a red one and it's probably good for jacket potatoes. We've got no idea. Steve's the only one who knows, but you're more than welcome to have a guess. I mean, there's no prize, unfortunately. But yeah, they're not bad sized potatoes. I just hope that there's plenty in here. So like I say, this was from the 2 halves of potato, which were just chopped in half, and they had several shoots coming off. So I just left them on the potato because I thought that's going to give them slightly more energy. So the last ones were chits, what I ripped off the potato and planted separately, so there's no potatoes connected to them, but there was on these. So I'm a bit surprised actually, but the biggest potato I've grown was actually from in here, because if you remove the chits, you're supposed to get bigger potatoes. Well, that's another whopper, look at the size of that. Right, so I don't know if there's going to be any more under here. Hopefully there will be. Let's, oh yeah, there's a couple more under there. So that's not a bad sized little potato really. Yeah, and basically also in here was a topsoil, what I dug out from underneath a compost bin and put that in here, because I thought that's going to be loaded with nutrients. It's going to help hold on to the water. And it was actually Mike from Sow Grow Eat that suggested doing that. He said that he'd got his best ever tomato yield when he did that. So thank you very much, Mike, for that little tip. It seems to have worked wonders, as well as everything else. I mean, I put biochar and super soil and potato fertiliser and everything in here really to give them sulphur, mycorrhizal fungi, quite a lot of stuff really. Right, but there's only 2 plants in here, so looks like that was it from this side anyway. I'm pretty sure there's no more under there. Right, let's have a look, see what these other ones. So these probably aren't going to be so big because they died off a lot quicker than the other ones. Yeah, these look like piddlers really. Yeah, nothing compared to those other ones. Hopefully there might be at least one decent big one on this side. But yeah, they're all coming out nice and clean. One mistake what I did make actually in my last ones is I rinsed them off. If you're going to store them, don't rinse them, because I did say about leaving the foliage to die off so that the skins can harden up and what have you before you harvest them. But I forgot to say about watering them. I think that Mr. Digwell commented on my last video about that, so thanks, Steve. So, oh, there's a piddler there, look. But from 2, oh, there's another one, 2 plants in here. I think there's about a total of maybe 6 shoots coming off them. They've done all right. Oh, what is it? I think that might be it. Let's have a little look over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it in there. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's one. And another little piddler, look. A couple of piddlers. Right, what I'll do is I'll empty them out back in here and we'll have a little look. So yeah, that's my best one. That's a whopper. Can you see all them on there? Yeah, so I've got some massive spuds there, not a massive amount because there's only 2 plants in here. That's all going to go towards the total, and yeah, I think I'm going to have to harvest the other ones as well now, just because, you know, if blight gets down into the tubers, they could all start going mushy, and that's a nice rock hard spud there. In fact, actually that might have a little hole in it just there, so it's not perfect, but yeah, I'm happy with that. We'll leave them in there for a minute, and we'll start on the other ones. Right then, I suppose I've got to start by cutting all these strings off and that. And I'm a bit gutted, I've had to harvest these a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but I'd rather get a decent weight now than them all rot away and potentially lose a bit of weight. But I'll get these stakes out of the way. And, hiya, you alright? Right, let's get them put in here and get these horns cut off. So I'm just sticking all this foliage in the compost bin. I don't, you know, it don't matter about sticking it in your compost. I know some people, oh, don't put it in there. Oh, it's fine, my compost gets really hot. Anyway, and blight don't survive on living material. But I've got a few aerial tubers on here actually. Never had them before. I don't know, do they count in the final weight, Steve? You see them? Little aerial tubers on the stem. But, yeah, there's definitely some in here because I can see them. Oh, there's like a nice big one there. Right, I'll just get rid of this foliage in the compost and I'll be back. Right, okay. I'll perhaps I'll zoom you. Oh, that's as much as I can zoom in. I'll get organised eventually. Right then, so we'll put potatoes in one, compost in the other. I'll put compost in this one. Yeah, so I know it looks like there's some decent potatoes in here, and I did cram it, you know, absolute cram it with 15 15 cuttings really. So this should be pretty much jam-packed full. Right, let's get a little one off first. That's the first big one out, well, half decent one. Oh my god, this one feels like a monster. Oh my god, holy cow. Oh no, just a weird shape. That's a fairly decent size. I don't think it's quite as big as the other one, but that's another big one. Considering this was just from a cutting, you know, I think that's amazing. So, some piddlers. I think this is going to take a little while to harvest. There is some damage to this. There's a little hole in that one there. But I'm happy to say they are producing some decent sized spuds. I was a bit unsure because it obviously didn't have as long as the others. But at least the rats or anything didn't find them. I need another container, don't I, for the foliage and that, any bits. I'll stick it down there. God, there's some weird shaped ones in here. There's another weird shaped one which is almost the same as that other one, look. It's a bit strange. Like I said, I was giving these lots and lots of superphosphate, which it says on the box, feed every 6 weeks. But because potatoes are hungry, I was doing it every 2 weeks. I mean, I was keeping my eye on the foliage, make sure that, you know, they weren't being adversely affected by it, and they seemed to be able to take it, so I just kept on doing it. Right, I think that's all these ones over this side done anyway. Let's move around. So, must be the smallest single seed potato ever. As long as I beat my total from last year, I'll be over the moon. And if I win, that'll be just an extra bonus, really. Ooh. But there's some real stiff competition this year. Well, there always is. But this year there's like 60 people in it, I think. Oh, look at that one. That's a really weird one. So look, they still had some more growth on them. It's just a little stole-on bit. Another fairly decent one. Piddler. Oh, that one's a little bit deeper. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you to Steve Digwell again for putting the competition on. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. And for what it costs, you get a good return on your potatoes. Oh God, this one looks like a good one. So yeah, I liked. Oh, that one's actually split. That's the first. Had a couple of dangly bits on it. But this one here is split. Look, that's a bit of a shame. But still eat it. Just cut it out. Got like a haircut on it. Hairstyle. Right. Right, we're getting near the end now, I think. Let's get some of this out actually. Another little piddler, they all count. And this one's all ones with all the weird aerial tubers. Oop. There's no weird shaped one there, look. But yeah, look at that. That's strange, isn't it? That's only going to weigh a few grams. There's no point sticking that in the weight. Is a piddler. So what I might do, obviously I've got to weigh these yet with the other ones. There's a little piddler. But I've still got all my potatoes from the last harvest. I haven't eaten any of them yet. So what I might do for the thumbnail of the video is get them all together in one big picture just to see how much we've got. I think that's going to be almost it now, I think. Got one last little go through here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Right, oh, little baby one there. Right, I'll get these tips out in here then. We'll have a look. In fact, I'll bring all of them over because I haven't weighed any of these yet, have I? So I'll get them all tipped in here actually, and we'll have a look, see what the total harvest from today is. Right, well, we'll tip them all in here then together, and we'll see what we've got from today. Wow, I don't think that's a bad haul, that isn't. That's the biggest, but there are some absolute whoppers, and they actually remind me of sweet potato. But I think that makes quite a nice little photo. So I'll bring you in for a closer look anyway. Okay, so well, let me zoom out. It comes back to normal, that's it. Right, so that's what we've got. I mean, my hand next to that one, that's how big that one is, it's quite big. Obviously got to weigh them yet. I'm not going to rinse them off so much, but I'll try and knock a bit more mud off before I do weigh them. But I think that's quite a good harvest there. Let's spread them out a bit. Yeah, so perhaps take a little screenshot of that. And like I say, I've got the other ones at home, which I'll probably put them all together after I weighed these and get the weight sent off to Steve. And like I say, I'll probably finish this little video off at home by popping a little picture in of all of them together. Hi everyone, Nick the Gardener. So I've just made it home and I've just weighed the potatoes for Steve. I haven't sent them off to him yet, but I thought I'll just give you a little look at the containers and maybe tip them out onto my little board over there so you can have a look at the total harvest. I've not eaten any of your first harvest yet, but they were starting to sprout a little bit because it's so moist. But I'll spin you around and show you what we've got. So these two here, what I've just harvested today, and that was what I harvested last time, and I think you'll all agree that's a fairly decent amount of spuds there. So I think what I'll do is I'll just pause you for a minute. In fact, actually I'll stick you over here, spin you around, stick you on here as Murphy walks by. I'll stick you there, and I'll bring this a bit closer. Right. That's my biggest one, I think. So I haven't got my microphone on, so hopefully you can hear me alright. So that's all from one potato. So it's not too bad. I'll pick you up and spin you around so you can have a little bit of a better look. So yeah, that's a pretty good potato haul, I think. Like I say, I think that one's my biggest. My biggest one's from the original. I'm not really sure really, but let's spread them out a bit anyway. So yeah, that's all from one potato. So yeah, that's a pretty good harvest there. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so good luck everyone else, and better get them harvested before they get blight and what have you. I think I was fortunate, there's no signs of blight on my tubers yet, so it's all good. So thanks again for watching, and please give us a like, share, subscribe, and yeah, thumbs up. Bye bye.